In the early years of the Cold War, speed had become everything. Nations raced to push aircraft higher, faster, and further than ever before. In the Soviet Union, one experimental aircraft would emerge looking less like a traditional airplane, and more like a missile with wings. That aircraft was the Yakovlev Yak-1000. Developed in the early 1950s by the legendary Soviet design bureau Yakovlev, the Yak-1000 was built during a time when engineers were still trying to understand the mysteries of supersonic flight. Radar technology was evolving rapidly, jet engines were becoming more powerful, and military planners believed future wars would be decided in the skies at incredible speeds. At first glance, the Yak-1000 looked almost unreal. Its wings were extremely short and sharply swept back at nearly 60 degrees, giving the aircraft a strange, dart-like appearance. The fuselage itself was long and narrow, optimized for high-speed flight. Compared to conventional fighters of the era, the Yak-1000 appeared tiny, aggressive, and futuristic, almost like something decades ahead of its time. But this radical design came with major risks. Engineers hoped the compact wings would reduce drag and allow the aircraft to approach supersonic performance. However, aviation knowledge in the early 1950s was still limited. Wind tunnel testing could only reveal so much, and many aerodynamic behaviors near the speed of sound remained unpredictable. The aircraft was powered by a single turbojet engine and designed primarily as an experimental research platform rather than a full combat fighter. Soviet engineers wanted to gather valuable data on high-speed aerodynamics, stability, and control. In many ways, the Yak-1000 was a flying laboratory. When testing finally began, pilots quickly discovered the aircraft was incredibly difficult to handle. The tiny wings produced poor low-speed performance, making takeoffs and landings especially dangerous. Stability problems appeared almost immediately, and controlling the aircraft required extreme precision. Even experienced test pilots found the Yak-1000 intimidating. Despite its futuristic appearance, the aircraft never truly achieved the breakthrough its designers hoped for. Only one prototype was ever completed, and after a limited series of tests, the program was cancelled. The Soviet Union shifted its focus toward more practical and stable fighter designs that could actually enter operational service. Yet the Yak-1000 remains one of the most fascinating experimental aircraft of the Cold War era. It represented a moment when aviation engineers around the world were willing to test almost anything in pursuit of speed. Some designs succeeded, others failed spectacularly, but every experiment pushed aviation technology one step further. Today, the Yak-1000 is remembered not as a combat legend, but as a bold engineering gamble, a machine that looked like the future before the future had fully arrived. And while it never entered mass production, its story remains a powerful reminder of how experimental aviation shaped the modern jet age.